Hello guys and welcome to another new video. Today we are taking a look at the Betrayal 3.5 expansion pack for Path of the Exile patch notes. So, I've been reading them for quite a time now, and I can say they are very fast. There's going to be a lot of changes. I took the liberty of making some highlighted notes right here, so I know what highlighted changes I want to explain in this video. But if you're interested and want to read the full patch notes for yourselves, I'll be posting the link, the official patch notes link down below. So let's start. First of all, we have the hideout system. So as you know, while you are doing the arcade mode, let's say, of the PoE, you find the masters, you level them up, and then you claim hideout. This will change. In Betrayal, you will rescue Helena in Act 2, and then the hideouts are going to be accessible. After that, you have to clear them of enemies. I don't understand what this means, because it says here that hideouts must be cleared of enemies before they can be claimed. I guess we're gonna find out when it hits the live servers. You can also claim your hideout decorations with the click of a button, and even export the hideout layout. This is a feature that is going to refresh the hideout aspect of the game, since you can share hideouts with your friends or even use their own creation, you know. And believe me, there are some hideouts that are pure works of art, and I will be very happy to actually trying them out myself. Next, we have the master crafting. So, as it is right now, each time you invite a master in the hideout, he will provide you the crafting bench that he possesses. And then you end up with 7 benches, I believe. And each bench requires a different item base in order to be used. This will no longer be the case, since in Betrayal we're gonna have one single crafting bench that will do the crafting session for us for every single item base. This will be very easy to use, and it will solve a lot of time issue and time wasting problems, let's say. Okay, of course, in the trailer of Betrayal we saw that new crafting modes are going to be added, and older ones are gonna have enhanced roles in different modes. So crafting will be a very interesting thing to check out in the new league. Next, they refer here all of the new gems they are going to add in the game. I'm not going to refer in each and every one of these, but in my opinion, the best way to test a gem is not to read it in the patch notes, but the best way it is to actually take a spin and try it live with a character dedicated to it and get a feel of how it actually works, if it is worth, if it can do end game and all this great stuff. Sorry. Okay, let's keep going. After the gems here, we have some more things here. There are gonna be 13 new unique items. There's gonna be 1 new fated unique prophecy, 5 new divination cards designed by the supporters, 30 new hideouts, 3D art for the unique body armor Iron Heart, 5 new maps will replace existing base types. We'll see them in a few minutes here. And added labyrinth enchantments for the new and reworked skills. This is quite interesting as well. We're gonna have to check it out when it's live, but the new maps that replace other ones will refresh the game a bit, I believe. And the enchantments is quite good to have, because if you really wanna test the endgame potential of a gem, an enhancement is a nice way to boost its damage or the utility. I don't know. We'll see when it hits the live servers. Now, some fun notes here about the hideout decorations. You can now move and rotate the hideout waypoint. This is actually very good, because I personally use the vegan hideout a lot. I really like it. It's the way I find the hideout to be the most easy to use, let's say. and having the waypoint being moved to the place that I prefer is actually gonna make me very happy. Also, the cosmetic aura effects can now be applied to any aura, including curse auras created by Blasphemy. This is one MTX improvement that many people, I believe, will enjoy. Now, let's see some things about the master changes. Masters, including Zana, no longer have reputation levels. Features such as crafting bench options are, as a result, no longer unlocked by grinding master missions. And are instead unlocked by encountering specific locations, situations, and completing specific objectives. Okay, so since they are reworking the whole map, the whole master system, you no longer will have to do boring daily missions in order to unlock the better crafting modes, let's say. But once you complete certain missions or unlock certain areas, then you will have access to it. Very interesting, very refreshing. I do like this one. Okay, hideouts are also no longer unlocked or improved throughout master grinding. So as I said before, the more a master leveled up, the option for upgrading the hideout would appear. You would have to upgrade it to medium and then to large, but this is not the case anymore, since Helena will help you unlock new hideouts found throughout the campaign and very rarely within the Atlas. Newly obtained hideouts are automatically at their maximum size and hold all masters without being upgraded. This is very nice, because you neither have to go to every time to invite the masters or wait for the hideout to be fully upgraded so you can invite them and get the bench to craft items. This is gonna be a very nice way to actually get the bench and craft modes available early, and maybe if you have no money, you will have no money in the beginning of the league, maybe crafting things with these features will become a little bit easier and help you in the early game as well. Next, we have the Xana's map device options, and the items themselves are now unlocked based on your progress throughout the Shaper Elder questline. She now occasionally sell high tier maps as well as sextants. So this is a new one, but not quite new, since this was actually kinda implemented in the Delve League, but we now have the upgraded items we can buy from Xana, and we're gonna actually go on and see the other thing. Completing master missions still earns you favor, and masters now have favor levels that cap out at level 7. These levels only unlock Hideout Decorations and are account wide. Okay, so as you can understand, the favor will cap at level 7 and not level 8 anymore, and this will help us buy the decorations for the hideout account wide. So there's been a lot of changes regarding the hideouts, so it's gonna be easier to create new and improved hideouts. But enough with this stuff. Let's go and see some of the bigger changes, some of the let's say game-changing things that will happen in Betrayal. And the first thing I would like to refer to is the death of statistics, because this time it says here you can no longer use skills that require a specific weapon if you are dual wielding and one of your equipped weapon is unsuitable for that skill. For example, you will no longer be able to use Reeve with a dagger and scepter equipped. This change means that the popular statistic strategies will no longer work for attacks. In case you don't understand what a statistic is, usually in Path of the Exile, one mechanic that has been used in many patches before is that you use when you use a gem that requires a specific weapon type, you use the weapon type in your main hand, and then you use a different type in the offhand slot that focuses on just giving you just granting very nice offensive or defensive stats. But this will no longer be the case. This is a very big change that will affect the game greatly, I believe, and will shift the meta towards other builds. And the only thing I believe that can be used in a way like this is cleave, I believe. Yeah, I'm not very sure, but it is gonna be very different from now on. We also have some energy shield changes. Energy shield recharge is no longer interrupted by non-damage change to your life and energy shield, such as when you spend your energy shield on skills via Eldritch Battery. This is a nice little change. Now, the total amount that you can slow the expiration of an effect on a character throughout the time slowing mechanism, such as Temporal Change, is now capped at 75% from all sources. So, this is a rip for the Headhunter. This is actually a nerf, because Headhunter can grant you a buff called Soul Leader, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but what it does is actually augment and boost your damage a whole lot, and there have been some builds that abuse this thing and try to extend the period of time that this buff is active beyond the 20-second duration that Headhunter provides by itself. So this change will actually nerf those builds, but if you're using a Headhunter without anything, any kind of let's say mods and stats like Temporal Change, etc., you do not have to worry. Things will stay the same. This nerf was actually intended for some specific builds that were actually very overpowered. Now we have some skill reworks here. We have Arctic Breath, Ice Spear, Tectonic Slam, skill and some balancing on some skills like Tempest Shield, Vortex, Ice Nova, Cold Snap, Lip Slam, Molder Slam, etc. As I said before, things can look great on paper, but the most effective way, I believe, to test all these things is playing them, so I'm not wasting time by reading each and every one of these. If you wish to do, the link is gonna be down below. So let's take a new turn and see something that is very interesting. So this is actually a big not nerf, a very big buff to custom critical strike support. So now the cooldown has a cooldown of 0.15 seconds. As you can understand, down from 0.5. So there have been some builds in the past that abuse custom crit, but they were nerfed when the cooldown was 0.25 seconds. Since now it's gonna be 0.15, it means that spells are gonna be procced 3 times as fast as before. So as I actually noted there, is as wow, this is gonna generate a whole new variety of builds that may be able to abuse the new and buffed gems as well. So we're gonna see when the this change hits the live server as well. We have a buff for cast on melee kill support as well, since the cooldown goes down from 0.25 to 0.15 as well. And now we have some passive tree balance as well. So first of all, the Eldritch Battery now causes you to have 50% less energy shield recharge rate. This is mostly a buff for some CI builds, I believe, but we're gonna see. Okay, we have some added passive skill clusters for new brand skills. So some of the new gems are gonna require some more, let's say, boost from the skill tree, and that's what they did here. They added some nodes that can help provide this boost for the new builds, let's say. Okay, moving forward, we have some ascendancy balances for the Occultist, the Champion, and the Hierophant. Give me a sec here. To be fair, I haven't played these particular ascendancies very much, so I can't really explain how these are going to work, but most of them are very interesting, and personally I'm going to be devoting some time by trying them out. And then we have some item balances. So besides these notes here, what they actually mention they are going to do is that they're gonna change or buff some unique items that drop very commonly, let's say, and they're gonna also not rework, but let's say balance the rarest unique items. But let's take a look at the highlights here. One of them is that Shaper and Elder items and jewels can now gain mods that affect non-elements chaos damage over time multiplier and cold damage over time multiplier. And also that the Shaper weapon mods, which cause you to gain a portion of physical damage as extra cold, fire, lightning, or extra damage of a random element, grant half as much extra damage. Amulets are unaffected by this, and this does not affect the existing items. My god, my tongue. Existing versions can be updated to these new values with a Divine Orb. So this is actually a nerf, because a prime example would be the Ground Slam Inquisitor I have posted with a video guide here in my channel. So even in this build, the maces I was running there, they were maces that granted a percentage of physical as extra damage of a random element, or lightning damage, chaos damage, fire damage, etc., etc. I believe that they could go up to 40% of extra damage granted. So if this thing goes through, they are gonna have a maximum of 20, and this is a pretty significant nerf to builds like them. So for example, my Inquisitor depended highly on the static playstyle, and in the portion of physical damage that was translated into elemental damage. So builds like that are gonna die in Betrayal, I believe, and this is sad because I quite frankly liked this aspect of the game and the ability to build stuff like that. But let's continue. We have some unique item balances. Carcass Jack now grants 40 to 50% up to 20%. This is quite a significant buff in my opinion. Increased area of effect. I believe we're gonna see some Carcass Jack action in Betrayal as well. A whole lot changed there. Another one is that Silver Tongue no longer causes arrows to pierce all targets after chaining, but it will make the arrows pierce all targets after forking. So a Ringwalls and a Silver Tongue will go very good together in this league. Queen of the Forest now grants 1% increased movement speed per 600 up to 450 evasion rating, up to 75% down from 100%. This affects all versions of the item. Quite an interesting change in my opinion as well. So let's take a look at one of my personal favorite items, the Impulse's Broken Heart. And it says here, shocked enemies you kill to explode. I mean, okay. Dealing 5% of the maximum average lightning damage, which cannot shock, no longer has a range of 5 to 10 and is now set to 5. Existing values can be updated to this using a Divine Orb. So it is a nerf to the AoE damage that the impulses can provide. So another example would be my Magic Find with Poet's Pen that was abusing the impulses in order to have crazy AoE and blow up the entire map. This will actually make it a little bit weaker, but I don't think this will be the death of builds like that. But anyway, another thing is that Sadima stats now increases the quality of items found from slain enemies by 5 to 10, down from 12 to 16. This is also a nerf. As I said before, in every league we get unique items that provide us with increased quant. So some magic finding builds are viable, and we no longer have the ability to craft or acquire increased quantity percent in rare items, with the few exceptions like a Saper's amulet, let's say, that can go up to 10% increase quantity. So this is a pretty significant nerf. But on the other hand, we saw in the trailer I saw personally in the post from GGG that one of the Veil mods, which is gonna be the new thing of the Betrayal League, is that we can actually get in rare items increased quant. So if this is the case, this nerf to Sadima stats is nothing to be concerned about, because there is a very high chance you can actually acquire better items just by using by crafting the increased quant Veil mode. Now we have some cooler changes as well, which now causes you to deal 40% less damage as opposed to weapon damage. This affects all versions of the item. Okay, so we move forward to the Wind Reaper. So we see that they actually played a lot with the magic finding. Okay, Wind Reaper now has 30 to 40 down from 6 to 20 increased critical strike chance, so it is quite weaker. 48 to 60 to 72 to 90, up from 32 to 40, this is a buff. Okay, added cold damage, and 1 to 120 to 150, up from 80. Aligning damage, this version can be updated to new values with a divine orb. So they nerf the critical strike chance, but they buff the lightning and cold damage, which overall I believe is a buff to the item, and it will be quite interesting to see how it performs in the live servers. And finally we have some prophecy changes here. Adjusted the weightings of many prophecies. You can complete the steps of many prophecy chains in various maps, and some more things here. And now we're gonna take some time and look at the map changes. So the Atlas, of course, has been shuffled. So as per every league, in order to refresh the Atlas mechanics, they do tend to shuffle the map tiers, and some high tier maps can end up being like tier 5 or something like that. But this time it is going to be very interesting to see the changes, and I'm gonna show them to you in a bit here, because this is gonna be the end of some builds. You'll understand why. So one thing I would like to mention here is that we have a very new thing that will help ascending the Atlas faster, and that is that completing a map as part of Zana's daily mission, or daily by today's standards. Okay, so a map as part of a Zana mission now counts towards your Atlas map completion and any associated challenges or achievements. This is very good, because when you are struggling to get the certain maps to complete the Atlas, Zana often offers a mission, or a daily mission for today's standards. Offers this particular map you are actually missing as part of a mission, and even though you complete it, you do not get the Atlas bonus, but this will be a very nice touch. Personally, in this league I did had the chance to do some very expensive maps through a Zana mission, and it was unfortunate that the map bonus was not unlocked when I finished them, and I had to rebuy them and repeat the process in order to make the Atlas achievement be unlocked. But it's a very nice touch. It's gonna be helpful in the early stages of the league. And now we're gonna take a look. We are gonna take a look at the Atlas changes here. So here we are. Okay, so this is a list of the Atlas shuffle changes, let's say, and I have made some points of some interesting maps that were changed. First of all, we have the channel map, or channel map, I don't know how it is pronounced, but it goes down from tier 5 to tier 1. This, in my opinion, is a very good thing, because now you can clear the channel map many times, you can sustain it very easily, and you can farm your humility cards in order to get your first tabular asa and your first 6-link body armor, which will be very helpful in the early stages. They are not gonna be very expensive, since they are sustainable, and it's a very nice start from GGG there. Then we have one of the new maps, the Fungal Hollow map, which will replace the Springs map. After that, we have the Glacier map that will replace the Gorge map, the Crater map that will replace the Tribunal map. We have the Underground Sea map, which went from tier 6 to tier 5 now. Not a very big change, I think it's actually better. I like to make this an Elder shaped map, an Elder map with the Elder Orb, so I don't really concern myself about the tier of it. And being a tier 5, it's actually more sustainable than a tier 6. And I really love the layout of this map, and the density is actually crazy. And it can help you level up in the early stages of a league as well. Next we have the Volcano map, one of the more popular magic finding maps as well. Go from tier 4 up to tier 6. This will make it very much harder to sustain it, and sustain the sextants required to do a fully magic find dedicated farming session of Volcano maps. Moving forward, we have the Primordial Pool map, which went from tier 11 to tier 7. Then we have the Wasteland map. This is the red, as it is now, it is the red version of the channel map. So it went from tier 11 to tier 8. This actually is shares the same mentality as the tier 1 channel map, because it will make it very much more sustainable, and will make it very easy for you to farm humility cards. And the layout is pretty good, the density is good as well, so pretty nice starts there. Next we have the Plateau map, go up from tier 9 to tier 10. The Estuary map as well, one tier up. The Belfry stayed the same. I just wanted to point Belfry out because it is a very great map. Then we have the Spider Forest map. I don't remember. Oh god, this is a brain bamboozled moment. I believe it went down. Yeah, I believe it was a red map for sure. I believe it was tier 11 and went down to tier 10 now. Then we have one very interesting change, and that is the Burial Chambers, since they went from tier 3 up to fucking tier 11. So, as you can understand, the availability of cheap magic finding, doctor farmers, burial farmers, and all that good stuff, I believe is dead, because now, since it is a tier 11, the drop rate of it is gonna be lower. It's gonna be harder to sustain burial chamber maps. It's gonna be harder to sustain the sextants. All in all, I believe it's gonna affect the magic finding portion of the game greatly, and in combination with the fail modes, the magic finding nerfs in the uniques and all these changes, maybe there are gonna be a new generation of magic finding builds that actually tend to focus on farming something else rather than a burial chambers map. And to be fair, the doctor card is quite hard to acquire, even if you're running high quantity percentages on your build. But the good thing was that the burial chambers were tier 3, they were easy to sustain, and you made a lot of profit by collecting 6 rocketed maps, divination cards, and you had the exalted orb drops, diviners, annulments, and all that good stuff, but this is gonna change. Next we have the racecourse map. Go up one tier from tier 12 to tier 13. We have the Acid Caverns map that will replace the Acid Lakes map. We have the Sunken City go down from tier 15 to tier 14. The Carcass map will go one tier down as well, from 15 to 14. And the new map, the Primordial Blocks map, will replace the Torture Chamber in the tier 15 category of maps. And that is for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for dedicating your time to watch this video. I know that it was not a very good review, but as you can see, there are very many things we could cover here. I personally covered the things I found the most interesting and will change. And in my opinion, I believe that it will change the game a whole lot. As I said before, the link for the patch notes is going to be down in the description. Please excuse my inability to cover things better. It is actually the first video of patch notes I'm recording, so I'm doing my best here. Check out the pre-Christmas giveaway as well, don't miss it. And thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Have a very nice day.